Help me grow, fast or slow, as long as I know you're digging for gold. Help me learn, soft or stern, as long as I know you're digging for gold. Life's a movie, the ultimate trip. You should have been told you'd be digging for gold. Hello, my friends. Welcome once again to Digging for Gold. This is episode 58. We got Lou Maresca here. I'll tell you a little bit about him in a minute. Don't forget to subscribe below on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, follow us on TikTok and on Instagram. And the easiest way to do that is go to dangoldberg.com and hit all those icons. But if not, just go to each one of those sites. I don't know if you're a rock and roller or you're a microbiologist or you work with some military groups or
all the above.
All the above. Yeah. You want to know Lou, okay? It's like that commercial, It's a commercial. You want to know Lou. And I want to know Lou because Lou Maresca is our guest today. This is episode 58 on Digging for Gold. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So,
by the way, this is water in case anybody thinks
now,
otherwise.
For now,
well, okay.
For now. So you realize that. Live at the Fillmore is Lou's group. They're rock and rollers, just like me, okay?
True.
And they play all over the place. They've worked with some of the biggest bands in the world, okay? Yeah. How'd you get into that, by the way, Lou?
How did I get into that?
Yes.
Well, my background. I grew up in North Jersey on the other side of the Meadowlands where all the stadiums are. I was in New York City all the time for music.
Right.
Late 60s, early 70s. Was at Fillmore East in March of 71 when the Allman Brothers recorded the live album.
Yeah.
And I was back June of 71 when the very last weekend that it was open with the Allman Brothers, the Jay Giles Band, and Albert King.
Damn.
We went to that final public late show on Saturday night. And we had 10th row center orchestra seats. We paid $5.50 for the tickets.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and among the four guys that I went with was my longtime friend Mike Jaworek, who now is the vice president of the Birchmere in Alexandria, Virginia, world famous live music venue where Live at the Fillmore has played. So I saw the Allman Brothers Band, and like anybody else that saw them at the time, we were just blown away.
Yeah.
So in 71, I put together a band called Skydog, which was Duane Allman's nickname given to him by, Otis Redding.
Oh.
He called him Skyman.
He was sitting on the dock of the bay when he came up with that, right?
Yep. And it was Duane Allman that convinced him to do Hey Jude.
Really?
And Hey Jude had come out 6 months before by the Beatles, #1 hit. And Otis is saying, man, what are you thinking doing that Beatles song? It's a #1 hit. He goes, I'm telling you, man, you got to do it. And they recorded the song. It was a big hit for Otis Redding. Duane played guitar on it. And Otis nicknamed him Skyman because, man, you're always up. You're always up, which could be taken as a double entendre.
Right.
Because he was always up.
Right.
He was always up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I got it. I mean, music started for me. Italian kid from North Jersey. I played the accordion at 4.
The accordion.
The accordion. I had a very well-known instructor, Charles Nunzio. And from 4 years old to 7, I played the accordion. And I wanted to get a monkey to go along with the accordion, so he could like tip his cap and collect tips. And my parents said, "There's no way you're going to get a monkey." So I gave up the accordion and I picked up the guitar at 7, and I've played that.
You know Pete Bar Beauty.
Yeah.
Now he used to play the accordion.
Yeah.
And you don't see anybody playing the accordion much anymore.
No.
So it's like a lost instrument that somebody should pick up and revive.
Well, Danny in the E Street Band with Springsteen plays accordion sometimes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Danny Federici.
Also Italian.
Oh, what else? How many Jews do you know to play the accordion?
And there was this guy, Feinberg, I remember from a couple of years ago, but we'll discuss him later. Okay.
So I went to college at Penn State. I earned a degree in microbiology, did virus research with a well-known biophysicist named Wally Snipes, got accepted to medical school, took a year off to think about it, and I never went to medical school. Moved from Penn State here to Philadelphia. I met my wife my second year there. Been with her
At Penn State.
At Penn State, yeah. Met her in my second year at Penn State. And have lived here ever since. Opened a company called TechCom Corporation. We became one of the top suppliers of professional sound and recording equipment. And worked with everybody in entertainment, government, all branches of the service. We sold equipment to the Navy for radio stations around the world, digital recording equipment to the CIA.
Wow.
And I had...
That's not the Culinary Institute of America.
No.
The other ones.
No.
Yeah.
I had security clearance at Quantico.
Wow.
And they wouldn't tell me what they were going to do with the stuff I sold them because they said if they told me, they'd have to kill me.
Right? And that wasn't on the agenda that day.
No,
I know that. Yeah.
Had that for many years. And then about almost 20 years ago, I decided I wanted to go back to what I really loved, which was play music.
Right.
So I started Live at the Fillmore.
Wow. That's the name of the group.
Yeah. From Fillmore East and West.
Sure.
And from the album At Fillmore East, the Allman Brothers album. So that's what happened to get me back into music. That was 2009.
You were, 35 then, right?
Let me think. No, I was 2009. No, I was 55.
I was kidding.
Yeah, I'm being literal. I'm being serious.
55.
I'm a serious guy. You can tell I'm a serious guy.
I can tell. Yeah. So here you are, and you're getting back into the music business. Okay. You got all the equipment. You got everything you need because you know it all backwards and forwards. What type of venues do you play? What do you open for groups? You just do your own thing.
We headline our shows. We have been on festivals with other acts. Yeah. The last time we did a festival with noteworthy acts was last year. We played up in far North Jersey by the Water Gap. It's Roots, Ribs, and Ridge Festival. Yeah. And what happened was I get a call at around noon on Saturday, and it's an agent saying, Lou, is the band working tonight? And I said, no, we're off this weekend. I said, listen, can you help us out? We need somebody to fill in because, oh God, I'm going to blank out on their name. I'm Your Captain. Grand Funk Railroad.
Oh, yeah.
Was stuck in Atlanta at the airport because of bad weather. And they couldn't make it. So I said, I don't even know if the guys are around. Let me call and see if I can rally the troops. Turned out everybody was at home. So cool. We piled in the vehicles. The trailer was already loaded with all our equipment. Drove up there, and we ended up closing the show.
That's pretty cool.
It was funny because the night before they had Atlanta Rhythm Section and not Firefall, Orleans, who are friends. Yeah. In fact, I just saw Atlanta Rhythm Section on Friday at Sellersville Theater here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They invited us to come out as guests.
Which is a suburb of Philly.
Yeah. Okay. So we got up there and we played. We were the closing act that night. The following night, coincidentally, they had the Allman Betts Band, sons of Greg Allman and Dickie Betts. And I knew all the original members of the Allman Brothers Band. I know their kids. In fact, if he didn't live in Sarasota, Florida, Barry Oakley's son, could be my bass player in Live at the Fillmore.
Wow.
But it's just the logistics were, not going to work out.
Well, you should have called me because I was just down there.
In Sarasota?
No, I was in Naples, not that far.
Naples. Yeah. I have family down there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's mellow.
A lot of fancy cars in Naples.
I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that I actually sent a video to my friends in Istanbul who have nice cars on their own. I said, "You want to see some nice cars? I want to show you these cars."
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I noticed that a bunch of older guys drive their red Corvettes and their green Corvettes with spoilers up and down the roads.
Yep.
So I call them "look at me" cars. Okay, and there was a whole street of Porsches just to go see the Porsche, but they got Rollses and Bentleys and
Lamborghinis.
Lamborghinis.
Yeah, Maserati. Well, Maserati today is like a Buick.
Yeah, but they got them.
Yeah,
I saw them, and of course I had a scooter. That was it. But yeah.
My car is not a look at me car. I have a Porsche Cayman S,
Oh, I like the Cayman.
but it's not a Cayman S anymore.
What is it?
I had a catastrophic failure last year. The early years of that car, mine's a 07. It's almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it. Looks brand new. They had a problem with oil deprivation because they had a center bearing, and if you took a hard turn, the oil would get sucked down from the head, and you could spin a bearing. Well, that's what I did going on. I was down near Newark, Delaware. Car just shut down. So I sent it out to Slacker Racing.
That sucks.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I sent it out to Slacker Racing in Oklahoma City. They took it from a 3.4 liter to a 4.1 liter, sleeved it, metal sleeving inside the valves and everything, upgraded all the components. It went from 295 horse to 400 horse.
Holy.
And the torque went from 320 to 350. And guys in Corvettes and guys in Carreras and guys in Teslas pull alongside me and they look and say, "Oh, you got one of those little baby toy Porsches," and they try to, show off. And the next thing is, they're in my rearview mirror.
Exactly.
So
I had a car like that, and my friends from high school still remember it. It was a salmon pink Lark. Studebaker Lark.
Yeah.
Which was way ahead of its time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people used to sort of laugh at it until we got to a light.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
The same thing. Boom. It was a V8. It was a little car.
Yeah.
And I love my salmon pink Lark, but you can't even find Larks anymore.
No.
Studebakers.
They're classic cars.
Yeah.
And if you can find them, you're going to pay a small
ton of
fortune
money.
for them.
Yeah, I should have held on to it. But
30-year-old Porsches are going for $250,000.
my God.
I mean, I'm seeing them out every day. I see like a 95 Carrera or a turbo Carrera, $250,000.
I should have held on to my Lark.
Yeah. I should have held on to the gold top 52 Les Paul that I owned.
Oh, my God.
I sold that. That was the one guitar I wish I hadn't sold.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an original 1952.
Les Paul.
Yeah.
I remember more Paul. I knew some other Pauls, but
Uh-huh.
I remember Les Paul.
Well, less is more.
Less is more. Right, Peter?
As far as I know.
Yeah.
Peter is hanging in for Alex today. And, so now you're 50-something years old, and you're going back into rock and roll, right? Allman Brothers, you play other stuff besides, not just Allman Brothers?
Live at the Fillmore is strictly Allman Brothers. We're considered the #1 tribute to the Allman Brothers band.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. There are other people that would question that, but fuck them.
I would say that too, except I'm the host and I can't. But you're allowed to say whatever you want.
I mean,
and it's America.
It's been almost 20 years.
Damn.
We've played with every other major Southern rock band. We've played with Leonard Skinner, Marshall Tucker Band, Molly Hatchet, Outlaws, 38 Special, Atlanta Rhythm Section. We've been on national television, live from the Whiskey A Go-Go on Access TV with host Katie Darrell, who I love dearly. She's awesome. And so after that many years and a lot of sold out shows and people coming and saying, "Look, we've heard other people play this music, but you can't tell that you're not the original band."
Wow.
Because you really,
That's cool.
and you don't just play this, and we don't just play the songs. I've told the guys in the band, and we have a different lineup now than we did 17 years ago. But I said, look, you're not coming into this to innovate. You're coming into this to imitate.
Right. You know, it's interesting when you say that because, and this is sort of way off the other trail, but when I hear people sing the national anthem and they try to make it different,
Yeah, yeah.
I go like, just sing the national anthem.
It sounds
Just
like Minnie Riperton singing it.
Yeah, it's like, come on, just sing. Then we'll watch the ball game.
Right.
Okay. It doesn't have to be a whole. It's the same way.
Yeah.
If you're singing the Allman Brothers or any other group, just sing their music
Right.
as they would sing it.
And play it the way they played
play
it.
Yeah.
Don't come out and in the middle of Whipping Post rip a solo off that sounds like Yngwie Malmsteen or Eddie Van Halen. It doesn't fit.
No.
And with us, I mean, we study a lot of the live performances of theirs, and even the solos are not. And I hear people talk about the Allman Brothers as the best jam band. Well, no. I mean, I have to, and having worked with the Grateful Dead, I would say the Grateful Dead is the best jam band of all time. Allman Brothers were not a jam band, and Greg Allman himself even said this in interviews. He said, "We're a band that jams. We're not a jam band."
Right.
And the difference is we have songs and structure, and we go from section to section to section. And having heard them more times than I could even count, and seeing them sometimes 2 or 3 times in the same week,
Right.
those songs were compositions. They were not jams.
Right.
Whipping Post, that's 20 minutes long. The solos in Whipping Post over a period of time, you could hear the evolution of that song and the way those solos developed.
Yeah.
And 80% of them, after a point, was a composition, not ad-libbed.
Yeah, I can see that. And I can see that, and I can also see how the Dead would jam. Yeah.
The Dead, I mean, it depended on how they felt that night and what they were doing that night. I mean,
Yeah, or if the new riders would come in and
yeah, right.
lay on top of them
Right.
in a way.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting because having seen the evolution of rock and roll, okay, where do you see music now? What's your analysis of music?
Well, this is when the dark side of me comes out.
Say it.
Okay, and I've been on social media very candid about this, and I've taken a lot of heat. There's 2 factions, and we can talk about the influence of tribute bands
Right.
on music today as a separate subject, but I just said the other day because I saw Goose was playing at Madison Square Garden. And I said, Goose at Madison Square Garden. All due respect, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I saw so many people at Madison Square Garden. Jethro Tull I saw at Madison Square Garden.
I saw him at the Spectrum.
You know, all the greats of the late '60s and early '70s, the Grateful Dead,
So
Leonard Skinner, the Allman Brothers Band. You can't compare the music of today to the music of then.
And you know, it's interesting because it may sound like, come on, you got to progress and you got to. No, to me,
it hasn't progressed.
It hasn't.
It's regressed. Yeah, we didn't rehearse this.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Must be something about the '70s in our minds, but you could understand the words.
Yeah, well, there were words.
There were. That's right.
There were words.
Right.
And the other thing is, if you went and listened to different acts at that point in time, they all sounded different.
Yeah, they sound.
From one to the next, there were very few similar. I mean, talk about the New Riders, talk about the Grateful Dead, talk about Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, yeah.
And all distinctly different.
Different, definitely.
You listen to a lot of the music of today, and it's just an amalgam or a homogenization of everything else. And it's industry led. It's not artist led. It's industry, agent, manager led. They're the guys pushing the buttons.
It sounds like everything has almost the same beat to me,
Yeah,
or a lot of it.
Yeah, it's a Roland 808 drum machine.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's very weird for me because I obviously like the classic music. I was listening to a song called "Watermelon Sugar High." I don't know who does it. My wife would know who does it, and so I'm listening to it. That's all they say.
That's it. That's
it. Watermelon Sugar High.
It's easy to learn the song.
Watermelon Sugar High. And I'm sitting in a restaurant, and I forget where, probably in Florida, and they were playing it. And I said to my wife, this sounds like Watermelon Sugar High, but I know it's not, but they keep repeating the same line over and over and over again, and that's the song.
I don't know if people today, people in their teens, 20s, can appreciate a song like, which I think is one of the most beautiful songs ever written, Wichita Lineman.
Oh.
I mean, that is such a magnificent, beautiful song lyrically and melodically. As an example.
It's Glenn Campbell, and who wrote it was Jim, the writer of the writer
down in Nashville.
Yeah.
Down in Nashville.
I don't know if you're.
We got to look it up. I know
it'll come to me.
Jim Webb.
Jim Webb. That's right. Jim Webb. Yep. And he wrote a lot of great songs.
Oh yeah.
He was terrific.
Oh, yeah.
And sang some of them actually.
Yeah. All the songs that came out of New York, out of the what was that office building in New York where Carol
Carol
King and Neil Sedaka and all those people. I mean, they were songs. I don't want to sound like an ageist.
No. I get it though.
Young people,
No,
even though they beat me up. So, you're some old that doesn't know what he's talking about anymore.
Nah, look, there's a Sound of Philadelphia.
Oh, well, I knew all those guys because I had an office at Sigma Sound.
Yeah. Oh, so there you go.
Yeah. Joe Tarsia, who was the owner of Sigma, was my partner.
Wow.
In Holding Patterns, my production company that I still have now.
Cool.
Yeah, rest his soul.
Cool.
Joe, he passed away about 2 years ago.
Oh, God. It's going to happen to all of us eventually.
Yeah.
But there was something about music that, the bandstand and what was it, soul? What was the other show?
Oh, it's soul.
Right. Yeah, but anyway.
Black Eye Host.
Yeah.
Soul.
Soul Train.
Soul Train. That's
Soul Train.
Soul Train.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when they came on, you heard different kinds of music.
And you knew exactly who you were listening to.
Exactly. I don't think they could have a show like that. Maybe I'm an idiot, okay? Maybe I'm an idiot, and probably people watching are going, you are an idiot. Yep. Okay, so maybe I am. But there's such a big difference between... And the interesting thing is, to me, since we're talking about music, and I love to talk about music, when I was a kid... back in the 1800s. I fought for the North. I always tell people.
That's good.
Civil War.
That's good to know.
And my parents would listen to music of the 40s and 50s and 30s, okay? And I dug it. I really liked it.
Same.
And, I'd listen to Sinatra and
same.
Dean Martin and all those people and the music even before that. And I got into it. And the rock and roll was not that far off from that. You could still understand the words. You could still...
In the 60s, but then when you got into the later 60s and 70s, into the psychedelic era...
Well, that's a different thing.
It really changed...
It did.
It changed the whole...
Yes, and
dynamic and the landscape of music.
The Beatles changed everything.
Yeah.
To me, they changed everything.
Agreed.
There's the Beatles and everybody else.
Yep.
And I'll never forget, I was in the Army when Magical Mystery Tour came out. And I remember listening to this with another guy, I think his last name was Snyder, and we went, whoa, this is different. And this is after Sgt. Pepper. So they really did change the whole mode of things. And good for them. I mean, it was cool. You know?
Well, you had the British invasion that started that whole avalanche.
Yeah.
When I was,
I'm Henry VIII. I am. Henry VIII. I am.
You've been married several times before.
I've been married, right?
Yeah.
To the woman next door. She's been married 7 times before. But everyone was a Henry.
I went to see Having a Wild Weekend. It was a movie with the Dave Clark Five.
Oh, yeah?
We went to the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey, which became a concert theater in later years. And they were supposed to make an appearance. Well, we watched the movie, and at the end of the movie, these 4 guys come running out in Beatles suits, wave to the audience, and turn around and run off the stage. And I'm like, what the hell is this? We're supposed to see the Dave Clark Five. They probably dressed 4 guys off the street up in Beatles suits. They ran on stage and ran off. And that was my exposure to the Dave Clark Five.
Well, it's interesting because they couldn't count.
You're right.
Because if the Dave Clark Five was really 4, it would be called the Dave Clark 4.
You're right.
You know?
And I later saw the Allman Brothers Band at the same Capitol
Okay,
Theater
that's what
and
did
the
it?
Central Theater also in Passaic, New Jersey.
Wow, Passaic.
Yeah.
Passaic's different now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of come back a little bit, I think.
Yeah, but I went to a lot of concerts at the Spectrum, and I saw all the great bands there. I went to concerts at Temple Stadium, and I saw Jimi Hendrix and the Dead. And
Who's that?
The Dead or
No,
Jimi
Jimi Hendrix.
Well,
What does he
you may
play?
not believe this, but he said hi when I told. I connected with him through the energy of the universe, and he said, "Tell Lou I said hi," and I said, "I
Appreciate
will,
that.
Jimmy." Yeah. So and he said hi to Peter too. But Peter's waving.
Yeah.
So this is so interesting to me. I love it. And a lot of times, what I will do is I will put music on in the house from that era, and my wife and I'll just dance.
That's great.
We'll put it on either on YouTube Music, right, on the TV, or from my console. And I still have a turntable and everything else. And I just love it. King Harvest. You remember King Harvest?
Yeah.
God, that's one of our favorite songs. Yeah.
Well, having been in the
They
business
did it.
of equipment and being an audiophile from the time I was a teenager, I always got into hi-fi. I have some pretty serious
High fidelity
listening stuff at home.
It's great.
And during the day, I mostly listen to classical,
I like that too.
and at night it's jazz.
I like that too.
And on a Saturday, we'll listen to live from the Met Opera. And I mean, my system in the living room, when the opera comes on, you think the singers are
Wow.
in the middle of my street. You're looking through the window out onto my street, and you think that's where they're singing to you from.
Wow, that's so cool.
It has that sense of 3-dimensionality and depth, and
Well, like
Yeah,
surround sound.
well, not so much surround sound because it's not really. You could do that if you had the ambience in the
Right.
room, and my living room is not that ambient, so
Right.
you hear it mostly from the front.
Right, I get it.
But I mean, everything is in its place. If it's an orchestral piece, you hear every instrument in space, separated from each other. So it's pretty.
Not to be confused with hearing things in space in the 70s.
Right.
When things were spaced out, literally and figuratively.
And talk about, people today versus us growing up as teenagers and young people. They're only used to listening to music on earbuds.
Oh, I know.
They don't know really what it's like to listen to music at that level of quality. And I have these kids come over and I say, "You want to hear what's your favorite band?" And they'll name a band, and I'll go on. I use Tidal as a streaming service. I think it's the best.
Tidal?
Tidal, Tidal.
Oh, Tidal.
Tidal.
Oh, like tidal wave.
a tidal wave.
Tidal wave. Okay.
I don't get any money for this. I just use it. I pay for it every month.
Right.
It's really good. Very high quality digital audio. And I'll put something on that they're used to listening to, and they sit there and they're like, "Oh my God, I never heard that in that song before." I said, "Yeah."
It's amazing. I mean, music, it's incredible to me that, I'm a young man of 79 almost. Okay,
Yes, you are.
78, 79.
Yes, you are.
And this is true for a lot of people. You'll remember things in your history, in your life and so forth, but somehow the words to songs are like a chip in your brain.
Yeah.
And it comes on and you can remember the words to songs.
And you
like it was
remember
yesterday.
where you were
Yeah.
when you listened to it and what you were doing when you listened to it.
Yes, exactly. I can remember the first time I heard Tommy by The Who. And I was just in a friend's apartment, and the separation of sound, you know, that and almost every Beatles song I heard. And I can still remember sitting there with the headphones. I had headphones on at the time, and going, this is amazing. It's amazing.
I saw The Who perform Quadrophenia at the Spectrum. They had a 16-track Studer tape machine for all the orchestral parts. They had a lot of problems with it because technology back then wasn't what technology is today.
Yeah.
You couldn't synchronize everything the way you can now digitally. And the opening band for them was Leonard Skinner.
Wow.
And Townsend fired them because they were too good.
Oh, that sucks.
They came out and played their asses off. And he said, these guys are too good to open for us. And they fired him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they got that guy with the accordion and the monkey.
Yeah.
And that was fine. I get it. One of my favorite groups, since we're on the group thing, and by the way, if you have any comments, comment below, because we're talking about music that, you know, a lot of us love. The Moody Blues. Mm-hmm. For me, it's the Beatles, the Moody Blues.
The Hairdressers.
The Hairdressers.
That's what they're known as.
Really?
In the business.
Really?
And I never knew why, but I
Because
worked.
their hair all looked the same?
No, I worked with them in the 80s. They rented some equipment from me. They were playing at the Tower Theater. And they rented a 16-track machine because they wanted to record the show. Mm-hmm. So I go in, I walk in the green room, and I had to keep myself from laughing because they're all in front of the mirror, combing their hair and spraying their hair with hairspray. Yeah, true. True.
The Hairdressers.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, they were one of the top 3 groups to use a Moog synthesizer. Mm-hmm. And it was like, whoa, this is different.
Bob Moog was a friend of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's Moog, not Moog.
Moog. Bob Moog.
He came up with that.
Mm-hmm.
My son had one, my oldest son. He was a terrific musician, amazing. Yeah. He had a radio show on WRTI called Friday Night Fusion. Mm-hmm. It was jazz, progressive jazz, and jazz, regular jazz. So now you've worked with all these groups.
A few.
There's a lot, more than I've worked for. You know, I paid to see him. You just go in and set him up, right? What thing, how can I say this? What consistency is there in the business that you see that artists have that most other people that aren't in the business will, I don't want to say lack, but lack, okay?
What is consistent among musical performers that other people in other walks of life don't have?
Yeah. If there is one.
I think there is. I think they follow their passion above anything else. And yeah, I mean, there's always the financial incentive. You know, people go into it for different reasons. I mean, a guy will pick up a guitar and play it because he wants to pick up girls. He'll play,
really?
Yeah.
Did it work?
For me.
I should have
For
tried.
me, yeah.
It did?
Yeah, about a half hour ago.
and then you put her back down, right?
Yeah.
You picked her up and put her down.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I think following your passion is something that other people forego in their life. And my dad, rest his soul, was a master machinist, tool and die maker. He worked on the original pop top can.
Wow.
In the 60s. He came home with a blueprint, put it on the dinner table at 6 o'clock when he came home, and he said, "You got to see this. engineer came up with a thing where the die from the top stamps this thing out of aluminum, and it puts like a rivet, and you pull this thing, and it makes a hole in the can, so you don't have to use a can opener anymore.
Wow.
And it was the original prototype for the pop top can. It was It was a joint venture from American and Continental Can Company. And my father worked on that design. And he told me, I worked in that trade for a while.
Did?
Yeah, I did. I worked in the tool and die trade for a while through college. And my dad had his own company, and he wanted me to go with him in his company. Lou M. Precision Tool and Die.
What was it?
Lou M. Precision Tool and Die. And he knew it wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
And he said, you got to do what you love.
It's true.
And that's why I didn't pursue medicine. I could have gone to medical school.
You could have gone. You were admitted.
But I think that
Was it Temple Med?
I was accepted to Temple. I was accepted to osteopathic.
Right.
I think Penn also. All Philadelphia schools.
Wow.
Because again, my wife's family lived in Drexel Hill, and but yeah, that I think is the one thing that differentiates musicians from other people in walks of life is passion, and not. The reason I didn't go into medicine, people had asked me. The biggest reason I didn't go into medicine was when I was considering it. Just not to be altruistic, I was doing it because I genuinely wanted to help people and do things to make them better. And I saw a lot of the other people that were going into the field of medicine were doing it because they wanted to turn 45 and retire on a 50-foot sailboat. That was the incentive. I think I can make a lot of money doing this. I've even talked to some family members of mine who are in the medical profession and in the legal profession. And I asked them, why'd you decide to go into that? Well, you can make a lot of money. These are family members of mine.
Yeah.
You know.
I get it. And it's weird because it used to be you could make even more, but now the insurance and stuff like that eats away at that.
Totally different now than it was 20, 30 years ago.
It is. It's a whole different industry.
Yep.
I mean, it's still medical, but it's a whole different industry. It's funny that, I mean, I love music, and I will just sometimes just play music, sit in the house, and just listen to music.
Yeah.
Because it's soothing, or brings back memories.
Right. You hear a song, it brings back when you heard it, where you were, who you were with.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, talk about differences then and now, and I've said this to people about live music.
Right.
When we went out to hear live music, we went out to hear the music.
Yeah.
We went to sit and listen to the performer.
Yeah.
Today, what I find is it's become a very egocentric, narcissistic experience where they're there not just to hear the music, they're there to take selfies of themselves. And it's, hey, look at me here at the Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah.
Or look at me at the Fish concert, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And it's not about the performance as much as it is about that person being there as part of what's going on.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with smartphones. It's one of the it's the swipe generation, and maybe I was talking to somebody about this the other day. There's pushback from some kids, I shouldn't say kids, young adults, and maybe even some younger kids, that it's too much already. It's too much, and I've spoken to some of my students will say, we're moving away from it. It's too distracting, and it is.
And it's become an art form for the well-to-do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we paid $5.50 to go see the Allman Brothers, the Jay Giles Band, and Albert King on Saturday night at Fillmore East. I have a friend who's done very well. She was a partner at a major international accounting firm. Went to see Taylor Swift's last concert in Canada. They paid $5,000 for those tickets.
It's crazy.
Now, who can afford to
Nobody.
go to a show? The Stones. I mean, any of these big concerts at arenas, their tickets are starting at hundreds, maybe $500, up to thousands of dollars.
Look at the Knicks games.
Well, I was just going to say sports.
Yeah.
You know, tickets on the floor were like, what?
$250,000.
Yeah, yeah.
$250,000. And it's interesting because, you know, we're 250 years. Everybody knows that. It's the anniversary of the United States. And so many things are in Philadelphia because this is where the country started, okay? Well, where it was born, better way of putting it. And the All-Star Game, I think even the home run derby is like $250.
Yeah.
It's who can afford that? The average person can't afford to. So if you're bringing your wife and your two kids, $1,000.
And that's part of my point about entertainment today. Whether it's music, whether it's sports, whatever, the whole ideology and culture is focused on greed and money. And you know, people that have that philosophy of greed is good. Why? Nah, I don't agree with you.
No, making a living is good.
Right.
You know, enjoying yourself,
right.
Having some extra money to go places.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Exploiting people to get it, that's not cool.
No.
Okay? However, on the other side, the entrepreneur that makes a lot of money, okay, took all the risk. Right. So, okay, you can't scream and yell at them unless they're exploiting people.
Right.
Well, they work their ass off to get to where they are.
Sure.
And a lot of them are pretty humble. You wouldn't know it. But then there are other people that just like to show off, and it's like the cars we were talking about before. But the fascination to me is getting up on stage, seeing all these people that are there to listen to you. Okay?
Right.
How's that feel?
It's the best. And that's why I do it. That's why a lot of the people that I associate with do it. We'll go, I mean, next show for us is next Friday in Connecticut at Katharine Hepburn Cultural Arts Center.
I dated her, by the way.
No
Very
kidding.
nice.
Oh, I heard she was a lovely lady.
She's lovely. She said hi,
Yeah,
by the way. Or maybe she was high. No, she wasn't high. She wasn't one of those people.
And when we go and play these shows, inevitably, after the show or during intermission, and we reach out to the audience. We want to engage with them. They'll come out and they want to say hi to you after the show. The common statement is, "Thank you so much for coming back."
Wow.
And bringing this music back to us.
Wow.
I've had situations, I'm going to get a little emotional about this. I had a guy, we were playing at the Queen in Wilmington, Delaware.
By the way, another group that I really like.
Oh, Queen? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Great.
yeah. And a guy comes up to me after the show and he's got tears.
Huh.
And he said, I got to tell you, I lost my wife a month ago. And I
geez.
haven't been out of my house for a month.
Oh, God.
So this is the first time I've been out of my house since my wife passed, and you raised my soul.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I started crying. I'm hugging the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can do that for somebody, that's doing something.
I agree with you.
That's doing something.
It's a beautiful thing. It's, you know, oh, you don't know. Why do we always say you know?
Yeah.
It's like saying like.
Well, I'm from Jersey. That's why I say you know.
You know, being an entertainer of any type, if you bring joy to someone's life, that's really it.
Yep.
And, as we talked about, I think we talked about this before. I used to be a stand-up comic. They know this. They've been watching the show, and I did some singing and so forth. But what I do now is stand up in front of 30, 40, 50, 15, 20 students and try to make their life enjoyable while learning.
Right.
Okay? While sort of getting some joy out of it and some knowledge. And I always felt that a good professor was also a good entertainer in a more academic way.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And to hear and have students come up to you and say, thank you, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. It's really, it's a joy.
I had a professor at Penn State. His name was Philip Skell. He's an organic chemist. He was Nobel Prize nominated.
Wow.
His class that I took in organic chemistry was one of the best classes I took in the 4 years that I was at Penn State, because organic chemistry, it can be a pretty
Difficult.
difficult, but also stoic discipline. He was hysterical.
Really?
He would make classes, hysterical.
It's great.
Yeah.
And you learn.
Yeah.
And you remember it forever. Because I know sometimes I talk to students, they say, well, who'd you take that class with last year? I can't remember their name.
Well, I'm going back to 73 or 74. And I remember Philip Skell was my organic chemistry professor.
Yeah, see, that's great. Like Mrs. Wesson. Mrs. Wesson was my teacher in 5th grade, and I still remember her because I ripped my pants, the seam of my pants, the back of my, right in the middle, and I was wearing a sweater, and we were doing square dancing, and I had to pull the sweater all the way down, and she said to me, Mr. Goldberg, none of that Elvis Presley stuff in here. And I still remember that from 5th grade. I mean, it's like, come on, but... I laughed about it, and she was probably serious, but it was funny to me. And that's what true entertainers do.
Yeah.
And some of them make good money, good for them, and some of them just get by and do entertainment and other things as well. But one good thing is you don't have to grade your audience, do you? No.
And the other thing is they know when you're phoning it in.
Oh, God.
And when you're not.
Yeah.
And our audience, another common comment is, man, you can tell you guys are having a great time up there. It's not work for you.
Right.
You're really enjoying it. I said, I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. If it stopped being fun, I would just stop doing it.
Yeah. That's great that you said that, because one thing, and I may have mentioned this on the podcast before, but sometimes it'll be early in the morning. I get up early and go into, into school to teach. And the night before, I may say, well, I got to go to bed. I got to get up really early. And my wife will always say to me, but you love it.
Yeah.
And I'll always say to her, you're right. I love it. Okay. And I'll do it. But it's the passion. It's the thrill, really, that you get, not at other people's expense,
right?
But with other people.
You share it with those other people.
Exactly.
And I have a pet comment. People, when they ask me, Lou, how you doing? I'll say, I haven't had a bad day in my life.
Yeah.
And they'll say, get the hell out of here. Come on, you must have had. I said, if I did have one, I already forgot about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and and I know I've spoken about this before. It's when you don't forget about it, it's that thing is in your head controlling you. So you sort of got to let it go.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard. I get it. I mean, people have been harmed and they have a hard time letting it go. But eventually, we're all going to die.
Right.
So why spend all that time on things that are controlling your brain while you could be having fun? And
which kind of takes us around to the subject of tribute bands.
Right.
And my take on that. I've gone toe to toe with some people lately about tribute bands and their effect on the business. And there's two factions. There's the one faction that says, well, you've been in a tribute band for almost 20 years, and now you're saying there's too many. Where do you get off saying there's too many tribute bands when it's what you've been doing all this time?
Right.
And then there are other people that agree with me, because what I've said is there were not as many tribute bands when I started doing this. And people that got into it did it because they genuinely loved the music of the band that they were tributing.
Right.
I had an Allman Brothers tribute band in 1972.
Right.
I went back and I did it again in 2009.
Right.
There are tribute bands out there now with guys that are in their 20s and 30s
yeah.
playing the music of groups they never heard before. They didn't grow up listening to these bands.
Right.
And they're doing it because agents and managers are putting them together and manufacturing a lot of these tribute acts to make money.
I didn't think of it that way, but you're right.
And
You're
they have money to put behind them promotionally. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't good, because some of them are.
right.
And then it's like anything else. You know, there's levels of quality in anything. But aside from, you know, the competence in playing, it just strikes me as it disincentivizes people presenting new original music.
It's a good point.
Because the thinking
point.
is,
Good point.
if I'm gonna try to have my own original music heard, I'm gonna have to go out and pay to play it. I'm gonna have to go out and play for nothing. If I put a Beatles band together, I can go out and make decent money playing that. And in my situation, when I started out, well, in 72 or 73, my band Skydog was probably the first Allman Brothers tribute band before there ever even was a term tribute band.
Yeah.
Today, I can genuinely count, I'm going to say conservatively, 200
Wow.
Allman Brothers tribute bands.
What?
Yeah.
Just Allman Brothers?
Yes. 200. And
Wow.
that's not an exaggeration. In any major market, you know, there's 50 states in the union. In every major market, in every state, there's probably easily 5.
Wow.
And if you take it state by state, a state like Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh,
Right.
there's probably 5 in each of
Each
those
one.
cities. And it's just,
Crazy.
you know, the young guys that are doing this will literally publicly attack me on social media because I'm very outspoken about the subject.
Yeah.
And they're saying, you're just some old guy that, you know, doesn't want anybody else raining on your parade or getting in on, you know, your action. No, it's not that.
No, it's a valid opinion is what it is.
It really isn't about that. And I've said, why don't you instead take the influence and extend that and expand that?
Build your own music.
Yeah. And you can pay homage to the band, not by playing their music, but playing your music that was influenced by them.
Yeah. And when somebody says that, it has a lot of meaning. Like, how did you come up with this stuff? By the way, I guess I'm going to scratch my John Philip Sousa, what do you call, tribute band, because there's probably too many of them. Forget about it.
I'm going to tell you about a project I'm thinking about. I'm not going to tell you on
after
mic.
the show.
After the show, I'm going to tell you
After the show, we're going to talk about that. So if you're curious, I can't tell you. But I listened to this stuff. Oh, God, it's King Harvest. What was their big song? It's my favorite song, and I just lost it in my head. Come on. I want to say to my wife, honey, call me, text me, and tell me.
I can't help you with that because I'm not a King Harvest.
No. But listen, I don't normally do this in the middle of my podcast.
But you're going to look it up.
But I'm going to, because it's driving me nuts.
I was going to look up Jimmy Webb if I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah. So if you look up, gang, King Harvest and Dancing in the Moonlight.
Yeah.
Dancing in the Moonlight is our favorite song. Mm-hmm. It's our song. And I said to my wife, if we're going to have any music at our wedding, it should be King Harvest and Dancing in the Moonlight, because it's a background song for a couple commercials. And I don't know why I blanked on it, but, you know, when you're trying to think so hard. But that song, and by the way, we didn't play it at our wedding because it was just me and my wife and the judge. That's it. And she would have thought it was weird.
And she didn't want to dance with the judge.
Right. Can I take out my phone and play that for us? But it's that song is just, every time we hear it, we got to get up and dance. And I go, it's on. It's on. Even if it's background for music. The story behind that is crazy. It's crazy.
The song Dancing in the Moonlight?
Yeah. It was, if I remember this correctly, the guy who wrote it is in the band, they're still around. And they were, I think it's St. John's in the Virgin Islands, and they were attacked. They were beaten, him and his girlfriend. And somehow something happened where the attackers ran off, and he came out with a positive outlook on things because of a traumatic experience that happened to him. And look it up. If you're listening, look up Dancing in the Moonlight if you're watching it, this show, and you'll see it's a very intriguing story. And one of the things that people don't realize is behind most music is a story. Behind most songs.
Good music.
Good music.
Good music.
Yeah, is a song. And I mean, is a story. And even from Hey Jude to some of the Dead's biggest and the Allman's biggest, they're stories. And I don't think that there's those stories today.
No.
What happened?
Well, there aren't stories. There isn't melody.
Right.
You don't have melody. And I was just thinking about this. There are certain solos that you hear in songs that are just signature, will remain in time forever. I mean, everybody always talks about Led Zeppelin and Stairway to Heaven, the solo in Stairway to Heaven.
By the way, do you know Denny Somack?
Yeah, very well.
He's a very good friend of mine. He wrote the Led Zeppelin book.
Yeah. Yep. He was a customer of mine.
Really?
When he had his office in Ardmore.
Yeah, I used to go there all the time.
Well, a lot of the gear that was there came from me.
I have something in my house from him.
Yeah.
A lithograph from the Beatles.
But when you think about it and you compare generational things, there are certain instrumental solos that you could sing it note for note from memory. The saxophone solo in Jerry Rafferty. Something Street.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Yeah.
The street in London. The sax solo in that, I can hear that in my head right now. Guitar solos that just, I've never played them before in my life, but they're so ingrained that if I picked up a guitar, I could play that guitar solo because it's so fundamental. To music.
It's interesting because my older son was a great musician. He could do that. He had perfect pitch. But as I think about these things, some of the instruments you don't hear saxophones anymore. In a lot of the music it added such great texture to music, especially from the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and,
well, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. And it's sad that so many people that are probably watching this don't even know about that because they're younger, and God love them, they got their own music. But if you really want to listen to some great music, listen to the music from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 40s.
I was a big jazz, I still am a big jazz aficionado. And I studied guitar with Pat Martino.
Oh, man,
brilliant.
Wow, great.
Brilliant guitarist.
Yeah.
Brilliant guitarist. I used to go to a place in West Paterson, New Jersey called Gulliver's. Little jazz bar. Maybe it could seat 70 or 80 people, maybe. And I saw some of the greatest jazz musicians. I saw Sonny Rollins
Oh, boy.
a couple of times there, who he just passed away. And I think Sonny Rollins was the greatest living jazz musician.
Yeah.
And he came in late from New York, and Amos, the owner, was like giving him, hey, you're an hour late, man. He goes, I'll make it up to you, Amos. I'm not going to take a break for the rest of the night. And
Wow.
he played straight through. He went in the kitchen. He put his horn under the sink because he liked the way it sounded under there. And
Wow.
it was an amazing show. I played at Gulliver's one night, and I was on stage with Ben Riley, Buster Williams, Kenny Barron, and see, this is memory.
Yeah.
You know, one of the greatest jazz singers, female from New Jersey. I'm blanking out. Come on.
Well, that's what happened to me with King Harvest. I get it. Yeah.
When I get up in the morning, I take a ginkgo biloba
Right.
and,
yeah, I
a,
get it.
and a Viagra.
Yeah.
That's so I can remember what the fuck I'm supposed to do all day.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. You know, that's funny. There used to be
Betty Carter.
Betty Carter.
Betty
Okay,
Carter.
okay.
I'm up there with Betty Carter, and she's singing, and I'm sweating bullets. She goes, "Baby, relax. Just take your instrument and blow. That's all."
That's it. Yeah. There used to be a jazz bar that I would go to sometimes 2-3 times a week when I was single. And then after I met my wife, we went there. But it had closed. This is shout out to Al Parisi, who was on the podcast twice already. But he had a jazz bar in Paris Bistro in Chestnut Hill. Mm-hmm. And I used to go all the time, sit downstairs. I went so much that they had a chair with my name on it in a brass plaque. I sat at the bar and just listened to jazz. And I did have an opportunity to get up there and do a little singing. Yeah,
That's great.
But it was just a very short amount of time because I love the groups. I loved so many great groups. And my older son was a jazz musician as well. So, and he has Friday Night Fusion Jazz Show. So we grew up with all that. My uncle was a jazz saxophonist and clarinetist, and my father's brother. And the music, I long for the music and I don't want it to seem like this old guy, he's reminiscent about. No, it's just if you listen to the music, you'll understand why. And if you listen to the words of songs, you will understand that they're stories.
Yeah. The music doesn't lie.
Yeah.
The music doesn't lie. And it's when you hear music that is genuine and from the heart, it's not manufactured.
Right.
It's not manufactured.
No.
And therein lies one of the differences.
Yeah.
You know, there was an ad years ago when MIDI, which is the language that digital instruments all communicate with each other on, you can connect them all together and have them play together.
Wow.
When it first came into being, I think in Recording Engineer and Producer magazine, Joe Zawinul from Weather Report,
Oh, yeah. I remember.
keyboardist, he had an ad in Recording Engineer and Producer magazine, and his quote was, "Oh yeah, MIDI's great. Now any idiot can sound like a pro."
Yeah.
And the point was, the technology became more at the forefront than the music did.
Brings up a great point. It's like what's happening with AI and writers and artists and so forth. So, and maybe there'll be pushback. Peter and I were talking about it earlier about pushback from a lot of the students and younger people who are saying, "Hey, but we want to be able to create on our own without using stuff that's artificial. You can take some things and plug it in, but not the whole story." And you know, I tell my students, and I try to make my assignments so that it's about them. And when it's about them personally, you can't do the AI. It may help you in your grammar and so forth, but I can't. I'm writing something right now, a book, and I can't see AI writing it for me. It's my life.
My keyboard player in the band that I had in '72, his name's Mark Radice. Mark's father, Gene Radice, was the chief engineer at Electric Lady Recording Studios in New York.
Wow.
With Jimi Hendrix. He engineered.
I remembered that. I remember that name.
He engineered the Cry of Love album with Jimi Hendrix. Mark, very talented guy. He's written over 5,000 songs.
Jeez.
He had his own albums. The backing band back then, this was in the 70s, was the Brass Construction.
Mm-hmm.
They were the backing band. He was with Aerosmith.
Oh boy.
For a while.
Yeah.
In the heyday of the Toxic Twins era, which wasn't so much fun. But he was living down in Alabama, and he moved back to New Jersey a couple of months ago. And I went over to see him, and he said, let me show you something. He went over to his computer. He called up an AI songwriting program. Mm-hmm. And he said, my cat Whiskey ran away a couple of days ago. She hasn't been back. I really miss her. I hope she comes back soon. 2 minutes later, this AI program spits a song out with lyrics, melody, chords, everything. And I listened to it, and I said, that doesn't suck. And he said, I am irrelevant now. I said, oh, come on, Mark. Come on. He says, no. He said, you saw what the thing just did.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that's written over 5,000 songs. He's been nominated for Emmys. His songs have been in Disney movies.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's a multi-instrumentalist, very, very talented guy. And he's saying, I'm irrelevant. It's scary stuff.
Yeah. Salon Moreira, who was on the podcast, he went into this in depth about what he thinks is going to happen. Peter also talked about it. Joe Oakes also talked about it. And Salon is like my AI guru. I mean, he knows so much about AI because he teaches it. And we're in for a crazy ride. But let's not forget those great songs.
Right.
And the stories behind them. Mm-hmm. And folks, if you're watching this or listening to this, take some time and look at the songs, listen to the songs, look at the lyrics. I always try to do that. I Google the lyrics to this song and that song, right, and find out the story behind songs. Like Dancing in the Moonlight, you'll be like, wow, really?
You want to listen to something? We're here in Philadelphia. Tom Bell was a writer for Philly International Records, PIR, Gamble and Huff.
Yeah, Gamble and
Huff.
And
MFSB, you mentioned them earlier. I
Sound of
know all those guys because I had an office at Sigma Sound. I saw a video of a songwriters gathering of some sort. I think it was in L.A. And Tom Bell, who moved to Washington State, I believe he was in Seattle, he was at this songwriters presentation. And he sat behind a grand piano and did a medley of the songs that he had written. Mm. And I listened to this, and I cried listening to it because one song after another, brilliant songwriting. One after another. Unbelievable body of work. And I didn't realize that he had written all those songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you could talk about guys like Steve Allen.
Yeah.
He wrote all these songs. There's guys that you would never know wrote volumes of songs that became very famous. And Steve Allen, by the way, for the older people, he was the Tonight Show before the Tonight Show.
Right.
And he was just an amazing fella. And there are people like that you may not even know. And he didn't even talk about it. But anyway, listen. Lou Maresca, this has been great. Really great. I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, and we got to continue this.
Okay.
We'll have you back. We'll talk about some other things. I'm going to tell Denny you said hi.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen him in a while, but
neither have I. He moved. He's in Florida, I think.
Okay.
Because I used to go to his house.
Because his place was right off Lancaster Avenue in Ardmore,
exactly.
and I only live in Wynwood around the corner from there.
Yeah, I used to go there all the time, and he had all these posters signed by the artist and so forth.
Yep.
He was amazing, and he wrote some great books, Led Zeppelin and some other ones. So listen, Lou, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
This was great.
Pleasure.
My pleasure. My friends, don't forget, this has been episode 58 on Digging for Gold. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and TikTok. And remember this, use your mind. If you don't, others will. We'll see you next time on Digging for Gold.